Good morning, everyone. Happy September. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up. And it is Tuesday, no, November. Yeah, Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. So it is 10 o'clock, which means it's time for coffee and cards. If you are on, make sure you give me a shout out, a thumbs up, something to let me know that you're here with me. Um, Hope everyone had a great holiday. It's back at it now, right? Work week has started. And I'm actually heading out again today back down to Gettysburg, down to the Cozy Craft Nest, which is my retreat house, because we have our retreat this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of my friends at that. But first, we're going to do a little stamping together, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek because tomorrow the mini catalog will launch. So make sure that you are getting your shopping list ready so that you can get all the goodies that you want out of the mini catalog when it goes live tomorrow for us. I already have my list built and I already have a few orders waiting to be put in for my friends. So make sure you're checking that out. And if you happen not to have a demonstrator that you're working with in the US and you need a catalog, please reach out to me and we'll see what we can do to make sure that you get one of those because you don't want to miss out on the fall season and all the fun products. It is a new month, so that always means a new Just Cards class. These are the Just Cards for September. You can purchase the class outright for $20 plus postage, which we ask $4 to help cover part of the postage. Or you can earn it with a minimum $45 product order on my website using the current monthly host code, which is right here. And your order hits $60, you are going to get the fabulous metallic gems as a little bonus, as a thank you freebie. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Hi, Deborah, good to see you guys. So yes, so these, you'll see these all month long. The class, there's an in-person class. It's usually the second Wednesday of the following month so that we can get all the orders in and then get everything cut. And that's about the same time we do the mailings to get the card kits out to those of you that are long distance from me. It also comes with a PDF, and I do a live, usually on my Facebook channel. Last month I had to do it over here on YouTube to show you how to put those cards together. So keep that in mind. We've already talked about the fact that catalog goes live tomorrow. That is exciting. Looking forward to that. I think there's also a couple of new Christmas kits launching tomorrow. So be sure you go online and check that out. And then these are the fun fold cards that we made together last time, right? This is our Mediterranean blooms. And then to kick off the end of summer, we did the little ice cream easel stand, which I actually converted into a gift card holder. So the recipient, a lot of times people open cards like this when they get them, not realizing, well, there'll be a little surprise in there for them. But then on the back is where you would sign and write any message. And the winner of these is Donna Beers. And actually, I was just chatting with Donna, so I should have told her, hey, hop on YouTube, but I didn't. But congratulations, Donna. I will pop these in the mail to you with your Just Cards class from last month. So thank you so much for watching and commenting. All right. So we are going to play with a sneak peek today. You only have one day to wait till this will be available. But I kind of fell in love with this when I saw it. I'm a sucker for Christmas trees. I don't know about you guys, wintry trees, whatever. But the Peaceful Evergreen set, right? So we've got a line of trees. We've got 3 beautiful trees. We've got snow. We've got we can make snowbanks with these, or just the wind whipping through the trees, right? And then, of course, the dies. I am woefully behind in getting my dies onto my magnetic sheets. But we have the outline to just cut out the stamped image, but we can also do a little bit of layering with the larger trees. As you can see, we've got these fun details. We've got a little bow action going on there, a star, and then a fun die that creates some background that you could do the darker paper and then have the white sneaking through in the back. All right, so those are the dies. And then there's also a beautiful, and I never remember to bring cardstock so you can see this, beautiful tree embossing folder, right? So you can do that as well. And I think we are embossing on at least one of the, I know we are, at least one of the projects. So So that is the sneak peek today. We are playing the Peaceful Evergreens. This is also actually what I'm about to share with you is my monthly Creativity Delivered class. So this class is available to go. You would absolutely want to make sure you either order the Peaceful Evergreens, which you can add on to your order for the class, or if you already have a Christmas tree stamp set, you might be able to substitute, right? And you can make that decision as we go through the projects today. But for the class, you are going to get, and forgive me because everything I have to show you is partially used. You're going to get a half a pack of the Season of Green and Gold Specialty Designer Series paper. So this is the one that has all the beautiful green patterns as well as the gold foil accents in there. You also are going to get a full roll of the gold trim. Okay. You're going to get a full package of the adhesive back snowflakes. So the gold, the white are really easy to use, but I even show you how to use the copper snowflakes on one of the projects. So that's fun. You're going to get supplies to make 8 cards, 2 each of 4 different designs, which is what I'm going to share with you today. You're going to get a PDF and you're going to get the envelopes to go with the cards. So keep that in mind. The cost is $35, $9 postage if we're mailing, and the registration link is below in the comments if you would like to grab this kit. So here's our first project that we're going to make, and we are actually using the embossing folder as well as that green or that gold trim, and then there's our gold snowflakes. Shaded Spruce is one of my favorite greens for Christmas. Hey, Carol, good morning. So we're bringing in some Shaded Spruce and thick basic white, and then the gold is our accent. And my fingers are already not working. That's never good, right? So we're going to layer on a layer of Shaded Spruce is what we're going to add our trees to. And this card is going in the not horizontal, vertical position. So we're going to emboss it just like that. Okay. Actually, I'm going to slide it over so that the larger tree is as close to the left side. So we have a space to put the greeting. So I'm going to actually I'm actually going to emboss it about like that, where this is the tallest tree. Did everyone have a good holiday? We worked, so we were down at the nest working. But other than that, it was okay, right? We're going to go ahead and add our strip of Shaded Spruce because that's what we're actually going to wrap our greeting or our ribbon around. This is the same. It's going to go edge to edge. Hey, Donna, congratulations. You won last week's cards. I said I should have said, hey, hop on YouTube when we were chatting just a few minutes ago. And then we're going to bring that ribbon around. We call it trim. I call it ribbons. Either one works, right? Trim that off. You were not supposed to release. And then I always come back in and add adhesive over my tails just to make sure it stays in place. Now we can mount this to our Shaded Spruce. Hey, late's better than never, right? This is, of course, going to go onto our card front. And then got a couple of different sets that you'll see me using throughout the projects. Reindeer Fun is also a brand new bundle coming in the mini. I love this Merry Christmas, and I actually like the font in all of these. I haven't actually played with the reindeer yet, but I'm sure I'm going to have some cute cards to share with you with that. And just so you can see, you can actually build your deer. We've got some holly in there, some bells, some bows, some packages, some lights. This is a really cool die cut to put into the front of a card, and then a smaller wreath, and then of course all of our dies to cut out our stamped imagery. So we're using that one throughout. I think I actually used that Merry Christmas on 2 projects. You can use whatever Merry Christmas you have. You don't have to. Really, the only one, unless you have a tree set that you can substitute, would be to grab the bundle. You don't even need to have the embossing folder, although if you're getting the bundle, it's always a good idea to get the coordinating embossing folder, but we will do the embossing for you. And then I'm using Peaceful Seasons, which is part of the suite of products with Peaceful Evergreens, right? Lots of great greetings on there, and then greetings of the season. So those are what I'm using in addition to the Peaceful Evergreen stamps today. All right. We are going to pop out a 2 1/4 inch circle. You can use a circle punch, you can use a die, whatever you have. But that's the size that we're looking for. And I just have scrap that I'm using up. And that's what we're going to stamp our greeting on. Or our trees on, I should say, not our greeting. So let's grab a piece of scrap paper and our shaded spruce ink. And I'm using the line of trees for this. That isn't going to work for me. Let me find something that I can actually see that white on white. There we go. That's all right. This will work. Okay. So there are our trees. We're just going to put that against a 2 3/8 inch gold circle. And if you don't have the punches, that's fine, because that will all be punched out for you in the card kits. Everything comes packaged in their own individual envelope, all the pieces for that project. And of course, you're getting 2 of each. Okay. And then we need our snowflakes. These are adhesive back. Don't we love it when they're adhesive back? Oh my goodness. I have a few of those. I have a few here, and I have more down at the nest. Yes, we love them. There were some really good ones back in the day. We're just going to add a snowflake right in the center. Of course, it's going to be gold. This is going to get mounted flat. Pop it if you wanted to. Should have kept my edge down or my design there down a little bit lower, but that's okay. And then we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas. Let's bring back in that cherry cobbler piece. I really think we had some great sentiment greetings in wood. There we go. I'm going to mount that to a layer of shaded spruce. So if you are thinking of ordering this week, what is it that's on your wish list? What's the first thing on your list? I know, I love this, right? Very much so. Gold works with a lot of colors, right? Then the next one we're going to do is gold and cherry cobbler. And I think that's just as elegant and pretty. And then we'll go ahead and add 2 more of those little gold snowflakes. I know everybody has their way of taking adhesive backed embellishments off their sheets. I use my take your pick tool. I tend to use the pointy tip. You can also use the spatula tip. But the reason for that is I can get down under. I see so often I see people picking them off, and I'm like, ooh, just be careful you don't leave the adhesive behind, right? Hey, Deborah, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we've got that, and then we're just going to put our gold bow and do our inside, and this card will be done. So it is a quick card. Glue dots is what I'm looking for. My brain just froze. It's a quick card, and especially if the embossing is already done for you, right? Grab a glue dot. Sometimes I'll take the knot to the glue dot. Sometimes I use my take your pick tool to take the glue dot off. I love that gold trim. That's why you're getting a roll of it, because I think everybody has to have a roll of the gold trim, right? All right, and then now here's where, you should always stamp your inside first, because if I stamp this and I mess it up and I haven't done anything else yet, I can change my fold and this becomes my front and nobody ever sees it. That's one of my fix it. How do I fix that, right? We should do a series on that. How do I fix that? All right, let's grab the shaded spruce one more time. This reading is also from our reindeer set. May all your days be full of cheer. And there we go. All right, so that is the first project. I'm going to clean up the stamps real quick because I think I'm using that Merry Christmas on another one. My ladies that ordered last month's Creativity Delivered frames and flowers, those are going out in the mail today if you are long distance from me. And I think the notification said it would be there by the end of the week. So keep your eye peeled for that. All right, so that was project number 1. I do like this drop just a little bit lower, but that works as well. You could up your Merry Christmas on the card front a little bit if you have that bigger gap. Okay. All right, here's our next one. A little bit of a fun fold. Again, we're using some greens. This time it's garden green, cherry cobbler, vanilla, very vanilla, and then the gold again, the gold accents, right? And then it opens up like this. And our base is pecan pie. I should mention, if you're local to me, there is going to be an in-person class for this as well. I believe it's either the 21st or the 28th. So you could absolutely participate in that class. Now I know where you came from. Okay, so we have some cherry cobbler and we have strips from the season of gold and green, or green and gold. I never get it right. We're going to add them to our cherry cobbler layers. Thanks, Jerry. And then our pecan pie card base. And you could do it this way. I chose to do it in a landscape orientation. It's just a little bit different. We're going to give those score lines a nice burnish. And then we'll mount our layers. It wants to go higher than I want it to go. Oh, shoot. Try that one more time. There we go. Any big plans for this week, folks? I think most kiddos have started back to school, right? We're going to do our card front. We're going to start with the layer of cherry cobbler. We're going to add the pecan pie. Make sure if you're watching, even after the fact, to leave a comment, a thumbs up, and certainly please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I give away, now I won't be giving these cards away since this is a purchase class, right? And I tend not to do that, but I will be giving away some products when we get back together next week. So make sure you do those things and then you'll get entered into the draw. So I'm using the same stamp and we're just going to work our way across. And you know what? That's a little lower than I want. Let's try it on this side. There we go. I needed a little bit more height. And then I'm going to off stamp and come in with our second level. And this just makes it look like there's more trees. We've got a whole forest going here, right? There we go. Love that. It's called generation stamping or off stamping. If you hear someone say generation stamping and you're not sure what that means, it just means that we've stamped it twice, or sometimes, depending upon the richness of the shade, you can even stamp it 3 times and get 3 tones of the same color, which is kind of cool. All right. That was garden green that I used. We're going to do cherry cobbler. Again, I use that Merry Christmas just because I love the nice long Merry Christmas. And I think I said, but this is very vanilla. I don't know. Are you a basic white or a very vanilla person? I'm interested because I got to tell you, I'm a basic white girl. But the gold and Seasonal of Gold and Green Designer Series paper has very vanilla as its neutral, if you will. So what are you? Are you basic white or very vanilla? And just another layer of gold to go behind there. This time we're going to pop that up. I don't know what I'd do without dimensionals. I do go through them. Ooh. Oh, that's nice, Deborah. Awesome. Are you looking for anything in particular on your shopping trip? Yeah, see, I'm with you. I'm a very vanilla girl. I hear you, Carol. I just said I'm leaving shortly after this video or this live today to go down to the nest to finish getting ready for my retreat this weekend. And I'm like, I won't be back home until next Monday night. Okay, so the one trick, and I say this only because I've done it, make sure when you mount this, you are only adding adhesive at the top, not the whole way like we're so typical when we add layers. Otherwise, you're going to seal your card shut. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that, but I basic white. Okay, I see a lot of basic white. I know. Well, I have just a little bit of decoration down at the craft nest, the cozy craft nest, and I did add my fall stuff out this weekend because our theme of our retreat is fall, so I had to have some fall decorations up. Okay, then I just realized, oh, there it is. I thought I was missing a piece. So then on the inside, I actually layered. I don't often do that either, but I did layer the cherry cobbler behind it just to keep the whole theme running, if you will. Yeah, I think the only time I reach for the very vanilla, and for the most part, is during fall. For some reason, very vanilla seems to go with all those fall colors, pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, crushed curry, all that fun stuff. So this says friends and family are the true gift of Christmas. And that is from the companion stamp set in the suite of products, the Peaceful Season stamp set. Now we can cover up where I used that as my base so I could see my white layers. And no one will ever know. I don't know if anything will ever allow me to evenly space on the first try again. I don't know that the next surgeries will help that or not with my eyesight. All right. So we carried our cherry cobbler the whole way through. We're going to grab those snowflakes again. And if you're not familiar with these, you get 3 different sizes, right? These little guys, then there's a medium size, and then there is, come here, and then there is the larger size. I'm actually going to use the larger size on the inside because we have the space for it. And you'll have lots of snowflakes left over to play with on your other projects. We'll stay with the little ones for the card front. And there we go. There's project number 2. So a little bit of a fun fold, but not a complicated fun fold, not one that's going to take you hours to put together, right? And why did my screen just do that? Oh my, what's happening here? Hold on, please. All kinds of crazy things are happening. There we go. I'm back. There we are. Hello. Goodness, that was fun. Okay, so that's project number 2. There are 4 projects for this class. So let me grab the next one. I always like to put my cap back on my take your pitch tool for 2 reasons. 1, that way I don't stab myself, and 2, I don't lose. Okay, so this one, we again are using the beautiful embossing folder. And we're doing a little bit of a technique here. So we needed a night one, I thought. And I hope the sparkle is showing up on there. We're going to use some silver foil. And we are going to use that embossing folder as soon as Lori figures out where she put it. Got it. Okay, so we're going to use some Night of Navy. Hi, hey Sarah. Thanks for joining us. All right, so this is also an easel card. So it becomes a decoration as well as just a greeting card. Sorry, somehow I managed to stick 2 snowflakes to the palm of my hand and I had to get them off. Okay. And we're going to score the front of this. Remember exactly where I scored it, so let me measure. Usually I score it in half. I did. So we're going to use basic white ink for this one. How many of you use basic white? Or craft white, I think we call it sometimes. There is our silver layer and our silver strip. Looking for my circle. There's my circle. All right, so let's start with the focal image and work our way. I'm going to emboss this again with the embossing folder. And again, I did the vertical orientation, but this time I kind of centered it over that tall tree. And I want to make sure that I don't cut off my tip. I think that looks good. So we're going to run that through. Of course, it's a 3D folder, so it's always the platform, the folder with your cardstock, and then the specialty plate is the sandwich for the 3D folder. So it looks like this, right? Or this might be blue if you have the older machine, like a blue acrylic plate. And there's our beautiful embossed trees. Do you sometimes? Yeah. I don't use it a lot, but I do like it for doing techniques like this. So this, if you don't have this and you're getting the class, this is also an add-on that you can put on your order, and we'll get it for you and include it in your kit. And we are going to start with a sponge dauber. That's going to come in your kit as well. So you'll get a sponge dauber so you can do the technique. I'm going to ink that up and then just lightly rub on the trees. And it's really bright right now, but as you can see, it does go down. The intensity will go down a little bit. So put more on than you think you need. That's always my tip when using the white. Now, the white ink pad does come uninked. You'll get the re-inker with it. And you just put the ink right into the ink pad like you do any of our pads. I would let it set for a little bit after you've done it so that that ink soaks in. Okay. And you can see how it's already starting to bleed into the paper a little bit and lighten up. But it's that easy. It's that easy to get that effect. And then I'll go back and look at it and say, I want it to be a little bit brighter, so let's add a little bit more color. And I did try to make this look like actual snow down here. So I definitely went a little heavier down here. And I also used the snow stamp from the Peaceful Evergreens and just added a little bit more texture with that. So now it really does look like snow now. Oh, I'm off screen. Sorry, guys. It does look like snow. Sometimes you use the white cardstock. Yep. Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm a white cardstock girl most of the time. I use the others in the fall. I use vanilla in the fall. I really like basic beige. I've used that a lot lately. As a matter of fact, I used it, I think, for my team meeting, maybe. I just did a card. I can't remember for what event. Might have been my team meeting. And it was, I used basic beige on the front, and I actually used basic beige for the insert to stamp the inside greeting on too. So I'm a big fan of basic beige. Plus, it gives us a little more texture. I'd say it's in between our regular cardstock and our basic white and our berry vanilla. So there we have that. We are going to take a Wink of Stella. You can also do this. My blending brush has seen a lot of color. You can also do this with a blending brush. I started with that, but I wasn't getting the effect that I wanted. So that's why I moved to the sponge dauber. So what we're going to do with the Wink of Stella, I'm anxious to see how much I actually splatter here, because you can see I use my brush and I've got Wink of Stella. So we are going to add Wink to create that starry sky and give a little sparkle to, oh yes, it's lovely there. To, oh wow, very pretty. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but there's lots of sparkle in that background. Just a little on the trees, which of course snow would be on the trees too, right? And it sparkles and glimmers. So you can add as much or as little as you want. We're going to stop there. but that's how you get that really cool background effect. Okay. And then I'm going to mount that piece to a layer. I hate to do this. Normally I would cut something out of that, but I'm not going to take that time right now. There it is. I'm like, my adhesive walked away. Ah, well, you might want to try that basic white. It's kind of fun to play with. Scrapbooking is coming too, guys. There's going to be a scrapbooking. I had it in my newsletter last week. Scrapbooking flyer released just digitally. And there's some fun Christmas kits in there. There's a Halloween scrapbooking kit in there. So if you're a scrapbooker, make sure you're checking all that new product out. But you can also use the papers in those kits to create cards with. They're 12 by 12 sheets, but you can still use them to create your cards. And then we're going to bring across our silver strip, and it's going to go edge to edge. So it's lining up with the edges of the silver. And then I always add the same color behind as my card front so that when it's standing up, I still have that background. This just isn't straight in the air. So, well, that did not stick, did it? Try that again. So I have a full quarter sheet of Night of Navy that I'm going to add. Okay, let's try that again. Might be because the ink is still damp. I'll add it a little bit more adhesive. So easy technique, fun technique. Make sure you're not anywhere where your splatter gets someplace you don't want it, like on your furniture or yes, exactly. Exactly. Sometimes you get bigger splatters, sometimes you get smaller splatters. That's okay. And then again, adhesive just on the bottom portion. You've probably all done easel cards. This is a straightforward one. But it lines up completely edge to edge and bottom to fold. Just gonna make sure we have good adhesion there. Then we've got a Night of Navy circle. We're going to stamp our Peace and Joy in navy. On our basic one. That's white. The only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to put my white craft ink into my cleaning pad, because then everything comes away when you clean your stamps with a white haze. So I always have baby wipes close, and then I wipe that first before I actually clean it. It is very confusing. A lot of people tell me they get confused because it looks like a dark pad, right? But it is white. It will say white. I'm assuming my pad's a few years old. I'm assuming the new ones are just like that. So I've not seen a new one recently. Okay, Peace and Joy. Oops. We can move you out of the way. We had to have something a little different than just our greens with our trees, right? Something tells me I am not going to get through the last card with that seal. It's looking a little red to me. And I'm going to pop that up with dimensionals as well. I'll put that here on the side. And that's it. No other embellishments for that. Now, for our inside, we're using Greetings of the Season. May your holiday season be filled with warmth and cheerful celebration. I'm going to keep that fairly close to the top. And then we're gonna, why did I close the ink pad? Force of habit. I don't like to leave open ink pads sitting around for things to fall in, for me to lay my hand in, and you know, all those variety of reasons. The To You and Yours. We're gonna add that to a night of navy matte. And then the mat gets popped up, and that's what your easel rests against. Let's go ahead and mount this on the inside so we can position that little prop. Okay. All right, so we're going to add our dimensionals. And I want it to sit about that height, so I'm going to bring my To You and Yours right there. And that's how easy it is for our easel card. What do you think? Do you like that technique? So I'll tell you why this one has more what I call the haze around it is I started with the blending brush. And maybe if I'd had a smaller blending brush rather than the big one, I wouldn't have gotten so much haze. But this was done with the sponge dauber. You will get a sponge dauber in your kit when you purchase the class to do that with. But I love that. I think that's a cool technique and it's an easy technique. And then when you splatter it with the Wink of Stella, this one had bigger splatters. This one has smaller splatters. I think both are beautiful. So there we go. That is that one. We have one more. Back to our greens, right? So we're going back to using our seasonal green and gold. And maybe even if you're a little country, right? With the plaid. I'm gonna grab a refill for my seal. I usually have one laying there, just in case we run out. All right. Now this time I did use the snowflake sky in the background. And of course the PDF comes with all the measurements because you will be cutting your own designer series paper. I don't like to open the packs. So we're going to go ahead and put our strips on here. I lay them out first in the hopes that that will help me get them a little more even. And we'll mount those. So here we're going to use the copper. Now, I did, without thinking this was going to be for a class, I did emboss in the copper Mary, but we're going to just do it in Mossy Meadow today. So if you don't have copper embossing powder, no worries. If you do and you want to do the copper embossing, that's fine as well. But we're just going to do it in, and even for my in-person class, we'll be doing it in the Mossy Meadow. Or you could try one of each if you have the copper embossing powder. The embossing powders come 3 in a pack. And they're called Wow embossing. And the copper is in the metallics family. I think it's the metallics and the basics. So it's copper, gold, and silver. And then it is white, black, and clear, I believe. So there is our background. We'll mount that to a layer of old olive. Fold goes at the top for this project. And then we have these 2 layers to do our trees on. We have a Mossy Meadow and this basic white that I am going to emboss with the Snowflake Sky. Did you know there was a line on there? There's a line on the embossing folders that you can line the edge of your cardstock up. Not so important in a snow sky, but if you're trying to align something and you want it to be straight, that is a great tool to take advantage of and use. That was something Stampin' Up added to their embossing folders a few years ago. And it was huge when it first happened. We all loved it. Gentle with your adhesive if you're using the seal after you've embossed, because those broken down fibers from the embossing, the seal likes to grab a hold of. And we're just going to pop that right in the center. Okay, so I have the big tree, and I'm going to emboss that in, not emboss, I'm going to stamp it in the mossy meadow onto the old olive. Apply good pressure all over. And then we're going to grab the die cuts. Oh, these are not those pre-die cuts, but the die cuts that I got the banner out of is Peaceful Season die cuts. And this, of course, coordinates with the suite of products as well. So where did Lori, oh, there they are. Where did Lori put the trees? I know, it's very helpful, isn't it, Carol? That line. We're going to grab the large die. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab the, I'll call it the skeleton die, for lack of a better word. Skeleton die, snow die, whatever you want to call it, right? Let's put that somewhere before I lose it. And I'm just going to cut these both at the same time. I don't bring my die cutting machine in because it rocks the table. So rather than make you all seasick, I have it right here beside me on a small table. So I just do it over here. Oops. Get my cutting pads instead of my embossing plate. And we're going to grab our brush. I have multiple take your pick tools. The brush is an adapter that you can get separately to add on, so that if you have little pieces that want to stick in the die cut, you can just brush them out. Keeping it in this old stamp case, the old wide stamp case, tries to keep everything safe and secure, and it doesn't go all over your floor. So we have our white one, and then we have our big stamped tree. And I'm just going to mount that right on there with a little bit. You could add adhesive sheet if you have it. Oh, Debbie. How are you, my friend? You could add adhesive sheet to the back of this if you wanted to. I just used the Tombow. Fine tip would work. That replicates our snow. And then we'll just put adhesive on the back. Drop that down here. I already pre-cut that banner. So fun. The Mary, and we're going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow. Like I said, I did copper embossing on mine. You're certainly welcome to do that if you get the kit and you have that, but this way works just as well. And I just put adhesive across the center because I want the tree to give it that little bit of lift. And then here's where those copper snowflakes are going to come in handy, right? Copper looks great with the plaid. Keeps that kind of country theme running. And I'm going to put them, you could put them out here. I'm going to choose to put them right beside the greeting again. Seems to be my status quo for these projects. I just realized, and I usually try to mix things up quite a bit. And then we're going to grab one of the middle size. Okay. And pop that on the top of the tree. There we go. And like I said, you'll have lots of snowflakes left over. If you want to create more of these cards that you're going to have the instruction sheets for, plus this video to help you put them together, or if you want to use them on other projects. On the inside, I did a small tree at the bottom. And I'm going to grab that scrap paper I had earlier. And I stamped this in Hope Your Days Are Filled with Fun and Laughter. Now, I actually used Old Olive for that, but I did not bring Old Olive. And my ink pads are now in Gettysburg. So, because I moved everything down there yesterday. So we're just going to do it in Mossy Meadow. And we will mount that to the inside of our card. Well, we're going to make it. Can you see the red in there? There we go. There is project number 4. So let's pull them all back. Tell me which one was your favorite. Everything on my computer is just trying to block the video. So we have that one that we just finished. This one, our Starry Sky Night, that is an easel card, right? We have our Cherry Cobbler. That's a fun fold. Easy fun fold. And then we have our Shaded Spruce. Which one was your favorite? I'm hard pressed to pick. So that's why I'm asking you. I'm putting you on the spot. What do you think? Number 1. Okay. This guy. You mean number 1 is in the first one we did? That was my favorite too when I started. And then I did the rest of these and I'm like, oh, now I don't know. Now I don't know. The easel card is your favorite? Yeah, that one's pretty cool too, isn't it? Yeah, very cool. Good. All right, guys. Well, if you're interested in the class, again, it's $35, $9 postage to mail. It does come in an oversized padded envelope to protect the 12 by 12 cardstock or designer series paper that you're going to be getting. And oh, thank you, Debbie. And the registration link is below. And registration, I think, is going to be open until like the 17th or 18th. And then I have to order the supplies because the class is at the end of the month then. But if you're interested, make sure you hit the registration button and get it ordered. All right. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in this morning. I appreciate it. I appreciate you spending time with me. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do that as well. That does help me and promote me, and I appreciate that. And I will be back here next Tuesday with another coffee and cards. If you are one of my followers on Facebook, I will not be live Sunday night. Again, sorry, because I will be at retreat, so I won't be live. But I hope to be back then the following Sunday. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day and a good week. And I will talk to you or see you. Well, talk to you probably. See you soon. Bye. Thanks.